The observation deck of the celestial horizon hummed with the gentle vibration of the ship's quantum drive as it drifted through the Andromeda sector. Adam stood with his hands pressed against the transparent aluminum viewport, watching the swirling nebulae paint the darkness with shades of purple and gold. He'd been hiding here for 3 days, and he knew she would find him eventually. Adam. The voice was soft, melodic, carrying harmonics that no human vocal cords could produce. He closed his eyes, his jaw tightening. He didn't turn around. "I know you're upset about the delegation meeting," Elsa continued, her footsteps barely audible as she approached. "But running away won't solve anything." "I'm not running," Adam said quietly, still facing the viewport. "I'm thinking." For 3 days, without speaking to anyone, without speaking to me. There was hurt in her voice now, the harmonics shifting to a minor key that made his chest ache. "Why are you avoiding me?" Adam finally turned to face her. Princess Elsa of the Luminari stood before him in her traditional robes, living fabric that shimmered with bioluminescent patterns, reflecting her emotional state. Right now, those patterns flickered with confusion and pain, blue and silver lights dancing across the material like tears of starlight. She was beautiful in a way that transcended human understanding of beauty. Her skin held an opalescent quality, shifting between pearl and moonlight. Her eyes, those impossible eyes, were too large, too luminous, containing galaxies within their depths. 2 elegant antennae curved gracefully from her forehead, currently drooping with distress. "Elsa," he began, then stopped, the words catching in his throat. "Why?" she pressed, taking a step closer. Her antennae straightened slightly, sensing his emotional state through the electromagnetic fields she could read as easily as he could read text. "What did I do wrong? Was it something I said at the council? Did I embarrass you in front of your superiors?" "No, God, no," Adam said quickly, shaking his head. "You were perfect, you're always perfect." "Then what?" Her voice rose, the harmonics creating a sound like crystal bells in distress. "For 2 years we've worked together, 2 years since the first contact, since your ship arrived in our system. We've shared meals, shared ideas, shared. I thought we shared friendship, maybe more than friendship." The bioluminescent patterns on her robes flashed rapidly now, betraying her agitation. "But suddenly you won't look at me. You avoid the labs when you know I'll be there. You leave rooms when I enter. Why? Tell me why." Adam ran his hand through his hair, turning back to the viewport. In its reflection, he could see her standing behind him, waiting. A princess of an advanced civilization that had mastered technologies humanity had only dreamed of, yet in this moment she looked so vulnerable. "The council made their decision," he said finally. "Yes," Elsa replied, confusion in her voice. "They approved the cultural exchange program. They're allowing the embassy on Earth. Isn't that what we wanted, what we've been working toward? They also assigned you as the first ambassador to Earth." "Yes," there was joy in her voice now, tentative hope. "I'll be staying on your world for 5 years, I thought. I thought you'd be happy. We can continue our work together. I can learn more about humanity, about—" "You can't go to Earth, Elsa." The silence that followed was absolute. Even the ship's ambient hum seemed to fade. When she spoke again, her voice was barely a whisper. "What?" Adam turned to face her, and the pain he'd been holding back for 3 days must have shown on his face, because her antennae flattened against her head in alarm. "You can't go to Earth," he repeated. "I've been trying to figure out how to tell you, how to make you understand. But the council approved." "I know what the council approved." His voice came out harsher than intended, and he immediately regretted it when he saw her flinch. He took a breath, steadying himself. "I'm sorry, but Elsa, you have to understand. Earth isn't ready. Humanity isn't ready." "Ready for what? We've had peaceful contact for 2 years. The communication protocols are established. The cultural guidelines are useless." Adam laughed bitterly. You think a few guidelines will protect you. You've only met humans in controlled environments, diplomats, scientists, the best we have to offer." He gestured helplessly. "You don't know what we're really like." Elsa's eyes narrowed and the patterns on her robes shifted to red anger. "You think I'm naive, that I don't understand the complexities of your species. I've studied human history, Adam. Your wars, your conflicts." "Studying it isn't the same as living in it," Adam interrupted. "You're a princess, Elsa. You've lived your entire life in a civilization that evolved past violence millennia ago. The Luminari don't even have a word for hatred in your language because the emotion doesn't exist in your psychology anymore." He stepped closer, his voice dropping. "But we do, humans. We're still primitive, still tribal, still afraid of anything different." "You're afraid of me." Her voice cracked on the last word. "No, I could never." Adam stopped himself, pressing his palms against his eyes. "I'm afraid for you, don't you understand? You're going to Earth as a symbol, a representative of everything humanity might become if we can just evolve a little bit further, reach a little bit higher." He lowered his hands, meeting her galactic eyes. "But there are people, millions of them, who will hate that symbol, who will hate you for being proof that we're not the center of the universe, that we're not special." Elsa shook her head, her antennae quivering. "Your governments have assured us." "My governments can't even agree on climate policy." Adam's voice rose again. "You think they can protect you from religious extremists who believe aliens are demons, from nationalists who see you as a threat to human purity, from people who would rather destroy what they don't understand than learn from it. So what are you saying?" Elsa's robes flickered between colors now, confusion, hurt, anger, fear all bleeding together. "That we should end the exchange program, that humanity should remain isolated." "I'm saying you shouldn't be the one to go." Adam's shoulders slumped. "Send someone else, anyone else, but not you." "Why not me?" She took a step forward, her voice rising with each word. "Why are you so certain I can't handle it? Is it because I'm female, because I'm young, or is it because you think I'm too weak?" "Because I love you." The words exploded from Adam like a dam breaking, echoing in the observation deck. Elsa froze, her mouth still open mid-sentence, her antennae snapping straight up in shock. Adam laughed, a broken sound. "There it is, the truth you wanted. I've been avoiding you because I love you and I can't stand the thought of you going to Earth, of putting yourself in danger, of—" he turned away again, unable to look at her. "Of you seeing what humanity really is and being disappointed, of you being hurt, physically or emotionally, of losing you to my species' fear and hatred." For a long moment, neither of them moved. Then Adam heard soft footsteps, and suddenly Elsa was standing beside him at the viewport, close enough that he could feel the subtle warmth her metabolism generated. "Adam," she said softly, and he forced himself to look at her. Her eyes were filled with tears, actual tears, something he'd never seen from her species before. The liquid caught the nebula light from outside, making her face glow with sorrow. "Why are you crying?" he whispered. "Because," she said, and her voice carried harmonics of such profound sadness that it made his heart hurt, "in trying to protect me, you've broken something beautiful." She reached up and her three-fingered hand gently touched his face. Her skin was cool and impossibly smooth. "I chose this assignment because of you. I volunteered to be ambassador because in 2 years you taught me what it means to hope, to dream of a future where our peoples walk together, where maybe—" She paused, her bioluminescent patterns swirling with colors he'd never seen before. "Where maybe a human and a luminari could be something more than colleagues." Adam's breath caught. "Elsa." "But now I understand," she continued, lowering her hand. "You don't see me as an equal, you see me as something fragile to be protected, something too pure for your primitive world." The tears flowed freely now, tracking down her opalescent cheeks. "You love what you think I am, not who I actually am. A princess, yes, but also a scientist who has dedicated her life to bridging worlds. Someone willing to take risks, to be uncomfortable, to maybe fail. Because isn't that what all great endeavors require?" "That's not fair," Adam said, his own eyes burning. "I'm trying to keep you safe." "I don't want to be safe." Elsa's voice rang out fierce and clear. "I want to live, I want to learn. Yes, there will be people who hate me, there will be danger, but there will also be billions who are curious, who want to understand, who are capable of wonder and growth." She grabbed his hand, pressing it against her chest where he could feel the triple rhythm of her hearts. "Don't you see? By trying to shield me from humanity's worst, you're also denying me the chance to experience its best. And aren't you proof of that? You flawed, fearful, loving, aren't you proof that humanity is worth the risk?" Adam stared at her, at this impossible being who somehow understood humanity better than he did himself. "I'm scared," he admitted finally, his voice barely a whisper. "I know," Elsa said, and she smiled, a gesture she'd learned from humans, though her facial structure made it uniquely her own. "I'm scared too, but I'm going anyway. The question is—" Her antennae curved toward him, an intimate gesture in luminary culture. "Will you come with me? Will you help me navigate your world? Or will you stay here, hiding from the future because it frightens you?" Through the viewport behind them, the nebulae continued their eternal dance, mixing light and darkness into something beautiful. Adam looked at Elsa, truly looked at her, and saw not a fragile princess or an alien symbol, but someone brave enough to believe in possibilities he'd been too afraid to imagine. "I'll come," he said, and squeezed her hand, "if you'll have a coward as your guide." "Not a coward," Elsa corrected, and her robes blazed with golden light joy he'd learned. "Just human, and that's exactly what I need." As their ship continued through the cosmos toward Earth and all its beautiful uncertainty, two beings from worlds apart stood together and hoped.